I am Citizen Jones Hussein. You know, it's less than 24 hours to the 2023 elections. As it is, the time of decision is upon us. So come out and vote. That's for tomorrow. But today on the program, General Abdul Salami laments that politicians are not obeying terms of peace pact signed ahead of elections, just as 15 people are known to have been killed in Kano, Enugu, and Ebonyi. Violence. Cleric urges electorate to resist politicians planning to buy votes, just as police arrest Rivers lawmaker with $98,000, and parties struggle to mobilize electoral agents over worsening Naira crisis. I'm hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, BKO. I greet you. Good evening.
Good evening, citizen.
We also have Olayinka Oyegbile joining us. I greet you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
All right, the team is ready. I hope you are. All right, let's go. You know, it's crunch time ahead of the general elections slated for tomorrow, February 25th, and the national adrenaline has been raised by a litany of electoral violence causing needless deaths. Former head of state and chairman National Peace Committee, General Abdul Salami Abubakar, is dismayed that politicians have become unscrupulous by not obeying terms of the peace pact signed by them. At least 15 people have been reported killed in different attacks on campaign trains in Kano, Enugu, and Ebonyi states. Politicians behaving badly are sending very wrong signals. What more can I say?
Yeah, it's something to be really worried about. Elections, general election, every 4 years. Off-season elections again and again in the course of a year. Yet, the same politicians refuse to change their ways. The politicians simply refuse to change their ways. What is the point in signing peace accords that you know you have no plan to abide by? You are wasting those old men's time. People like General Abdul Salami, people like Marty Kuka, the rest of them, who have committed to making our elections peaceful. Over the years, they've been committed to achieving this. They call meetings, they cause politicians to sit down together to sign. You see politicians, exchanging banters, pumping hands, back slapping and all that. But that's where it ends. That is where it ends. Because they continue to encourage their followers to see members of rival political parties as enemies.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the rhetorics coming out of the mouths of these politicians can only drive people to violence. I was watching a small clip of what looked like a debate between the two front runners.
Okay.
In the governorship election in Oyo State, the two front runners. I was really ashamed. The way they were abusing one another. And the hall was packed. Yet these politicians could not even speak in dignifying language. Intemperate language was what was on display. Abusing one another before young men and women who were in the hall. I mean, it was not the right example.
Yeah.
And what this does is, as soon as they are coming out of that hall, The battle line is already drawn.
Yeah, in the sand.
It's drawn. The boys and politicians are never short of thugs and roughnecks. The roughnecks are already waiting. All that they need is just the signal. Go and deal with that person.
Yeah.
I've said before,
Jide, imagine what is reported from Enugu State. The INEC has suspended the election there until March 11th.
You know, that of Enugu and other parts of the Southeast is even a different thing. We know that there is a group on a killing campaign. All that is interested in is to ensure that elections are not held in that part of the country. Well, I'm concerned about people who sit down to say, look, we want to sign a peace accord. You see them smiling, you see them exchanging banters. They give the feeling that, look, all is well. But that's where it ends. And why should we keep having this ritual every year?
I wonder.
Why would the politician not commit to peace? Why does the politician think that he cannot win an election unless he has thugs? Have you seen, in the far north, have you seen some rallies of the political parties? The young men attending those rallies, they go with clubs.
Yeah.
They are ready for a fight. You see them, you just see those their sticks. Raising them, you see them raising their sticks. When people expect them to clap, the sticks are up.
Oh boy.
That is to send a message to the arrivals that don't come close because we have come prepared.
So where is the problem? From the principle?
It is it's the politicians. We can have elections not characterized by violence if the politician decides in his heart that he will not spill blood over his election. But what do we see? Politicians believe that, look, that they can't win unless they employ thugs. Most big politicians in our country have thugs.
Oh, yeah.
Prepare somewhere. In fact, some have people whose duty is to take care of those thugs. And they service those thugs all the year round. Because thugs that are very, very vicious, they don't want to lose to their rivals.
You know, Jide, I became shocked to the marrows when a colleague said he was a PA to one of the governors up there, and Yinka, you won't believe, money to buy drugs, hard drugs and stuff was in the budget.
Of course, that's to be. No, but you see, meaning that
you can't be crazy with that for open eye.
Exactly.
Your eye must dirty. Your eye must dirty before you demonstrate madness.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of these boys, when they arrest them, put them in the slammer, after a few days.
They are let off.
No, that's not the point I make. After a few days, because they've not been able to have access to the drugs that they ingest.
Become sober?
They become sober, they become very, very, very
like
innocent looking. Look at that boy that they were calling DPO during the NSAS, the one who put on the uniform of a policeman that was said to have been killed. By the time our policemen here handled him, I saw that his mouth was bleeding. I said, this guy,
he don't chop.
He wasn't involved in a boxing match yet. He had red ink. I said, my guys, they dealt with him. By that time, the boy had become extremely sober. I now placed in my head, I placed the video of him walking with a swagger.
That's it.
With other rioters, with that dress on him, and they were shouting, DPO, and he was
waving at them.
Taking in the applause.
Inka, the other angle to it is, it should bother you and I, all three of us, that politicians have become Machiavellian in this country. Win by every and all means.
It is because we have the laws, we don't apply the laws. Taking off from where BKO stopped, the Yorubas say that it is another man's child that you send on an errand in the midnight. You will not send...
No be your picking.
Exactly. So now, most of these politicians, when they are doing this, they don't talk to you about their own children. I remember there is a skit making the rounds now. One of these roughnecks was standing, two of them were standing with a big politician outside a mansion. And the guy, the politician was telling them where to go and who to go and fight. Lo and behold, his son came back from abroad because he was dressed like they do there. And the leader of the thugs was telling the man that, okay, you said we should go to this place, go to that place and all that. Thank God your son has come. He should follow us and let us all go. The man said, why will he follow you? You are doing your job. And he said, no. We are
doing
also
the same job.
We are also somebody's children. Let your child follow us and let us go. So it goes to say that most of these people don't allow their children to participate in this.
Because
they know what it is.
Yeah.
And unfortunately also, we have our laws, which we don't take to, which we don't follow. We don't need new laws. We have electoral laws. We have criminal laws and all that. Completely stated out what offense you will commit and what punishment you will take. But because most of these people are politicians, they are rich, they are big men and women who have names, as we say, whatever they do, we look over it. If you go to the Abuja where they signed that peace accord, immediately you stepped out of the hall where they signed that peace accord. All these boys are there.
Waiting for orders.
Exactly. Do these people call these boys together and tell them that, look, there must be peace. Let us play this game as a sport.
Yeah.
Because every one of us cannot win. But they pay lip service to it. They sit down, dress in big gowns and all that and smile at each other. But immediately they leave that place, that is the end. So we need our laws to be enforced, no matter whose ox is God.
Is God. Okay.
If we don't do that, we'll still continue in the same dance.
All right, folks. It's election morning tomorrow, and we have deployed a number of our correspondents across this country. Ayodele Ozugbakun is deployed to Yola. Yola is capital of Adamawa State. Ayo, good evening. How are you? Is Ayo ready for us?
Ayo, are you there?
All right. Jide, but still talking about the peace accord. I cannot, my mind takes me, All right, I hear we can go to Kaduna as I speak, and Sarah is there. Good evening, Sarah. How are you? Calling on Sarah Arman in faraway Kaduna
Sarah
State.
A woman.
All right. Better luck next time. As soon as the signals get clear, we'll take you to Kaduna State. I cannot at this point forget the first time the military came upon us, January 15, 1966. They talked about the bad behavior of politicians. But do you know, many years after, we still have not learned anything.
Yes. I think we treat our laws like they don't exist. Is, in my view, the main reason for all this. First and foremost, the law must be for everyone. The law must be for everyone. Whether you are rich or you are poor, the law must be for everyone, and everyone must obey the law. Where politicians think that, look, they can get away with any crime committed, more and more of them will keep behaving like they are above the law. We have to show that no one is above the law in our country.
Yeah.
The judicial system must also be decisive in terms of dispensing with cases brought before them. Most of the time, what we see is cases dragging on for too long until even the litigant gets weary.
Yeah.
And then they are forced to settle out of court. There is a lot of impunity in the land, citizen.
A lot.
Impunity, much impunity.
A lot.
You see people parked on the road, exchanging banters without a care in the world about other road users. This impunity is already becoming like our culture.
Yeah.
And from the top
Down.
percolates down.
Begs the question.
The politician, the power people in our country behave like the laws were not made for them.
Yeah.
We hardly make examples of them. And today, if even budding politicians would think that that is the norm, they will infringe on our laws and
Damn the country.
behave like nothing will happen. So if we had been able to jail some politicians, for example,
Over time.
for pushing their supporters to violence and all that, maybe we won't even need this ritual of signing a peace pact that politicians will not honor.
Yeah.
You know, because everyone will behave himself. You know it's possible.
Yeah. It is. It is.
When people realize that there are consequences for bad behavior, honestly, bad behavior won't be rampant.
All right. I hear we can now join our man Ayo Ozugbaku in faraway Yola, Adamawa State. Good evening, Ayo. How are you?
Good evening. It's nice to be hanging out with you in Yola, Adamawa State, northeast Nigeria.
What can you tell us?
How's the preparation going?
Jide, you know, this is a state that they are prepared for this election. If you check the INEC and PVC collection rates, they recorded 89.01%, and the PVC collection rates, and with 89%, they are good to go. And they have over 2 million registered voters, 2.4 million registered voters in Adamawa State. But the beauty of it is that because of the cash crunch, because of what is happening in the country, so what I've been seeing since yesterday, you know, I've been seeing people loitered around all the banks. If you go to Yola, Jimeta here, everywhere, everybody is just trying to get 2,000 naira, 1,000 naira in most cases, and you see the long queues. Everybody is concerned about the sit-at-home order from 12 midnight to 6 p.m. tomorrow. So most people, they want to rush to the market. They want to get what, you know, can sustain them during that period of the voting period, that there won't be movements. So the concern all over town now is cash. My correspondent here, Olabi Adenusi, he had to park his car. He didn't have 1 naira with him, and he said, look, there's nothing he can do. You know, he was virtually stranded at the time we got in yesterday. I envisage this situation. I know if Lagos, you know, if we're experiencing something like this in Lagos, I know a place like Adamawa, that it's going to be, you know, it's going to be, you know, more. It's going to bite more here. So what I did was that I had to come in with just small cash, so that I won't be experiencing what they're experiencing, and even internet transaction, online platform, everything. Most filling stations, if you don't pay cash, yeah, they're not selling. They don't want to do. They don't want to do
You are not telling us the
transfer.
whole
They don't want to
story.
hear about anything.
You are not telling us the whole story.
They are trying
You have
to
buy.
blackmail. They want to blackmail you. Don't mind them.
You have to buy small cash
But
to take with you.
but seriously, Ayo, everything is set for tomorrow election. Tomorrow's election, right?
For INEC, yes, we went to the INEC office here in Jimata, and they've distributed all their sensitive materials across the local government. The sets as that if you go there, the only thing that wasn't set when we got there earlier was the accreditation for journalists. And the Olabi just told me 5 minutes ago that he has been able to secure accreditation for us. That we did it from the headquarters, and they sent it down. They sent it down from the headquarters, and we've secured our accommodation, so accreditation. So for logistics, sensitive and non-sensitive materials, they're all over across the local government and all the voting points in the entire Adamawa state. Jones.
Wish you a good time.
Thank you, Jones. Thank you, Jones.
Okay. Yes, cash crunch.
You know,
Well, it's never been this bad.
I listened to Father Kuka the other day. What did he say? He said vote buying has been made easier with the cash crunch.
Of course.
What does that mean? Before, if you had to give someone 5,000 naira, today, if you give 1,000 naira, it's like you have given the person all the world.
A lifeline.
Yes. Now, in the past 1 month, I've not had anything like 2,000 on me. But this morning, someone said, look, he has 5,000 naira if I can transfer to our account. Okay. And I jumped at it. And these are in 500, 100 and 200 naira notes. And I felt like as if I've won $5,000.
Good, but
felt
you
like
know,
a big man.
It makes everybody naira-wise.
You know, so now, to talk about vote buying now, as I said, what Father Kuka said.
We are going to go into that. But let's quickly take us to Kaduna. Sarah Ayeku is waiting. Sarah, good evening to you.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
You
can hot and cold at the same time here in Kaduna.
You can still spare a wide smile in spite of the cash crunch.
Regardless.
That means you are not affected by by the Emefelenomics.
The cash crunch. Well, you know that in Kaduna, the governor had said that residents here can go about spending their own.
But they are not taking it. I was in Kaduna 3 days ago.
No, we actually met someone that was actually telling us if we have all those, we should just bring this, and was fronting old 1,000 naira notes, old 500 naira notes in front of me and the camera guy, and of course, Benedict, with the assets. So he was telling me that you could go to the market and still, exchange or give some persons your old naira notes, and then they will collect it. So, but those, because a lot of persons are taking the old 1,000 and old 500 notes to the bank, they do not have the cash, so they can't even get it. So when we got to the market, we had a lot of POS operators going about their usual business. For people that are selling as little as vegetables, we see people transferring 1,500 naira just to buy vegetables as they make the last minute purchase before the elections tomorrow. But if you talk about the political atmosphere, youth, particularly youth, and even old women, old men, people in the markets are pumped up. They get up for tomorrow's elections. They want to see, and of course, go to the polling units and elect the president of their choice. So while we are all talking about how cash crunch is affecting us, that is actually a motivating factor for a lot of people I've spoken with here on the streets. And they're pumped up. They get up. They want to, of course, vote and ensure that the change they want to see comes alive as they vote for their next president tomorrow.
Yeah. Sarah, we cannot but wish you well from this end. Stay safe. Bye-bye now. Okay, we are going on a commercial break now, so please stay with us.
Just stop it. You stop it. Hey there, you're so stopping it. Our currency is our pride. Let's all treat it well. Let's handle it with care and respect. Remember the cashless policy. So reduce your cash transactions by using e-Naira, POS terminals, the ATM, and USSD codes using your mobile device. Keep our Naira clean and fresh. Be limitless.
This message is from the Central Bank of Nigeria.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) will conduct the 2023 general election using the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS). On election day, the BVAS equipment will be used to accredit voters by verifying their fingerprints or facial photographs. In each polling unit, every voter must be verified and authenticated before they are allowed to vote. Any intending voter whose fingerprint or facial photograph is not verified by the BVAS equipment will not be able to vote. With this, one man, one woman, one vote is assured. As no one can engage in multiple voting, neither can anyone use the voter cards of another person to vote. After polling, the BVAS equipment will also be used to transmit election results electronically from polling units to the INEC result viewing portal for everyone to see. BVAS will eliminate multiple voting, identity theft, or impersonation. The BVAS will guarantee one man, one woman, one vote. INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
This message is brought to you by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and the Center for Democracy and Development (CDD), with support from the Osiwa Africa Foundation.
Okay then, welcome back, folks. Jide, from the reports we've gotten from the two correspondents, the everyday Nigerian is ready to cast his vote, but the political class is poisoning the water.
Yes, the political class has to change. And you see, our people are not difficult to govern.
Oh, yeah.
I won't even say for our people, their standards are so high. No. Just do a little bit of those things that make them happy. Provide them electricity, water supply, accessible roads, help them to get better at what they do. If they are farmers, provide credits, provide them with fertilizers, provide them with high yield seeds. You know, they are happy. I see the way Nigerians excitedly praise governors for fixing roads. Things that in other parts of the world people take for granted.
Yeah.
If a governor does it, you see the way we'll be praising them. That is the more reason that our politicians should take the business of nation building seriously. Because that's the way to give yourself immortality. They will never forget you. The Nigerians are very appreciative people.
Yeah.
That's the point that I'm making. But the politician needs to change his ways. work for the people with honesty, with good intention.
Yeah.
That's what Nigerians want. Look, there are many Nigerians who are simply interested in good governance. They don't care the tribe.
Nothing
They
more.
don't care about the tribe of the candidate.
Yeah.
They just want
the basic things of life.
A leader that will make their lives better. And
that's not asking for too much.
It's not too much to ask for.
Not asking for too much.
It's not too much to ask for. But every year, every election year, you see Nigerians lament that, oh, the years have been wasted. They've invested their faith
in a certain
the politician does not take any heed.
That's the point I'm making, that the politician needs to change his ways. Because, look, we can't keep bungling opportunities to make our country better. We talk about some countries of the world that in the past used to look up to Nigeria. Nigeria has to provide leadership for Africa. We are not doing that. We are deceiving ourselves if we say we are doing that. Because in using different parameters, you see that we are not where we should be.
Yeah.
And if you are not where you should be, you can't provide leadership. You can't. And everything is the Nigerian leaders that you can blame.
Inka, if you have a child who has a lot of promise, but is not proving his battle, you become dejected.
You know, I always make an example. If Nigerian leaders, the political leaders, get their act right, as we have gotten it in the music and art industry, this country will be fantastic. Look at our artists, musicians, writers, and footballers, filmmakers. The Nollywood, some of us complain about it, but it is the rave of the world. Yeah. So if our political class can get our acts right, as the artistic world has gotten it right, Nigeria will be where everybody will want to be.
All right, Inka, let me take you to Lokoja now. Our man Theophilus Elama is waiting. Theophilus, good evening to you.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good evening. I'm doing well. Lokoja is full. Everyone is excitedly waiting for tomorrow when they will cast their ballots in their various localities. We've realized and seen, despite the fact that there was cash crunch everywhere, we could see banks filled up, compounds filled up of banks. Despite that, we still saw some people traveling to their various local governments to ensure that they go there to cast their ballots. In Lokoja, it's in the same way. Everybody's just excitedly going all about ensuring that, okay, everything goes out fine, so that by tomorrow, everything, the security architecture will work well. INEC officials are ready for tomorrow. We went to INEC office today, had an interview with the resident electoral commissioner, and we also got to the INEC local government office in Lokoja, and we saw that there were ad hoc staff waiting for directions, and that was being given by the officials there. And the resident electoral commissioner told me that as of yesterday, actually, they had moved different election materials to the various local governments, and so he has assured that elections will start quite early and end quite early, and it's so peaceful. Even the commissioner of police in charge of elections for Lokoja told the same thing, that they are deploying large contingent of men to ensure that security is taken care of in different local governments and residents have nothing to fear.
Yeah, in Lagos, we saw armored vehicles moving through the streets of Lagos, and people were wondering what's going on. Have you seen anything like that in Lokoja to suggest that there is a very heavy deployment of security to the confluence state?
As of yesterday, when we got into Abuja and we had to come by road from Abuja to Lokoja, we saw that, and we saw a large some trucks of army trucks going to Lokoja, and so that gives us the impression that everything is being done to ensure that the election does not go left. It goes the right way, and everyone will be safe to come out to vote. I was even talking with the youth leader of the ruling party in the state, and he was telling us about the fact that the government is interested in ensuring that this election is largely peaceful, doesn't want any situation where they will call Kogi State as one state that is a hotspot state. So they are doing everything they can to ensure that the security of life, property is paramount at this election. Incidentally, residents have something to say. They've been going all about their normal activity and ensuring, and they're happy with the fact that security architecture is top notch and election will go on fine.
All right, Theo, quickly, are the people saying anything about the cash crunch?
Yes, it's just like how people complain in Lagos is the way people are complaining here. The cash crunch is an issue. We've had to do transactions online, and we realized that if you have, for instance, coming from Abuja down to Lokoja, we have to pay our transport fare, and we had to pay a certain amount higher than the usual amount. And that's the situation here too. You add, they call it for bank charges. You add a certain amount on top, the ones your regular amount you have to pay, and you pay if you're transferring. Cash is an issue here, and if you seek anyone with cash, maybe 200 naira or 100 naira denomination. But largely, cash crunch has been a major issue here. We see banks filled to capacity, outside the banks filled to capacity within Lokoja. Many people are looking for cash, and the cash crunch is a major issue. The fuel crisis as well is a huge issue. Everywhere, Lokoja is a major issue. So these are the issues that have given residents of Lokoja a serious concern, and they expect that within a short period of time, this will be sorted. But cash crunch is a problem. If you have to, like I said earlier, if you have to transfer money to buy a good or service, you have to add a bit something higher than the regular amount to access that service, which is a serious concern for many.
Okay. From some of the people you have spoken with, the deployment of troops, is it a confidence booster for them or something that makes some think otherwise?
No, it's actually a confidence booster for a lot of them, because many people are telling about the 21 local governments, and some local governments that there are some local governments that are hotspots. So they see the deployment of police personnel, security personnel generally, as a booster for them, and they give them the impression that the government is serious with ensuring that elections goes on fine in the Kogi state and of course the capital as well.
Do you think this cash crunch will have a negative impact on the election in terms of turnout and all that? Do you see that happening? And what are party leaders saying? Because they also need cash to pay agents and for logistics. What are the frustrations that they are expressing to you?
Well, for residents of Lokoja, the cash crunch is a major issue, quite all right. But a lot of them were spoken to, do not see it as a hindrance to election, the process at all, because they feel if they have to travel from one location to the other to cast their ballot, which some people have done today, they can just easily transfer their money to the service provider, and they are off to their various localities. And of course, a lot of people are beginning to embrace the ease of transferring money from one person to the other. But the thing is this: if a lot of them are looking beyond that angle to say that they want to vote in the candidate of their own choice. So from what I see in Lokoja, that is not really a major issue for a lot of them, because they feel okay, they can transfer money to access a service. But in terms of vote buying, I haven't seen anyone who is amenable to that, who wants to collect money to vote another candidate who has paid. No, they want to vote their conscience and vote in the right person, someone who they believe will turn this country around for good. And so they are ready, despite the fact that, that vote buying might be an issue, they are ready to ensure that the elections count, the votes count. And I've spoken to some of them who even said once they are voted, they will stay around the voting area to ensure that their votes count. That's how serious this election is for many Kogi residents.
All right, thank you, Theo. We leave it there for the moment. That's our man Theophilus Elama in Lokoja, Kogi State. Okay then, I believe the future of this republic is in the hands of the voter, so he must be allowed to cast his ballot without let or hindrance. To our last story. You know, vote buying is a widespread phenomenon and is an electoral campaign violation which undermines the integrity of elections. A religious cleric has urged the electorate to resist any attempt by politicians to buy their votes at the polling unit on Saturday. Senior pastor of the Second Coming of Christ Ministry, Pastor Adewale Giwa, made the passionate plea while featuring on a radio show on Sunday at Akure, Ondo State. Meanwhile, we can report the arrest of a federal lawmaker in Rivers State with some $498,000. The lawmaker was nabbed by the police on Friday morning. Jide, would he face the music?
He has to. He has to, especially now that Nigerians are aware of his arrest. In this season of social media, you can be sure that people will keep asking the question, where is this fellow?
Yeah.
And I'm sure if Nigerians see any sign that that his matter is about to be swept under the carpet, they will keep screaming and asking the question. That is what we have to do as a people. Nudge law enforcement to do its work. Nudge the judiciary to do its work. Because that is the only way we can have a better nation. A nation in which the privileged few believe that they can get away with blue murder can never attain real progress and development. It's not going to happen. Where everyone thinks that, look, where the powerful people think that whatever they do, nobody will come for them, they can get away with it. Yeah. I said on this program that, look, it is not Naira alone that can be used to buy votes. Yeah. I said that they could buy votes through other means, including other currencies. And I think it was even the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir Rufai, who said, look, that they could use CFA.
CFA francs.
Yes, because we have states
that are bordering
that from the northwest to the northeast, there are Nigerian states that share border with Niger Republic. Extensive land border stretching more than 700 kilometers.
All four countries bordering Nigeria spend the CFA.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's I was even talking about. You know, the border with Chad, for example, it's a very small one. The land border very small. But I'm saying that there are not less than 7 Nigerian states that share border with Niger Republic, beginning from Jigawa in the northwest to the northeast. So this is the currency that they spend.
They spend, yeah.
In those border communities, they spend this currency. Yeah. Some of their own people too.
Benin spends CFA too.
Yes, of course, of course.
To us here in the south,
it can be spent here. You know that it has value. Yeah. These days, it has tremendous value. Yeah. Against our currency, bounced against our currency. So to think that if you made Naira difficult to find, will stop vote buying. It makes absolutely no sense. That is not creative thinking. Now we have seen, on the eve of election, we've seen a politician with a foreign currency and with a list, not just with a list of the people
who is getting what,
who get what.
They like this.
Even INEC was listed among beneficiaries. So, despite the fact that you made Naira difficult for people to lay their hands on, the Nigerian politician is so incorrigible that he will find a way around that problem. I said it at that time. Many people thought, oh, it's because Jide wants a particular candidate to win. You know, this is the way our people think. Oh, that's why.
Conspiracy theory.
But you look at people suffering. I said, this suffering that our people are going through will not stop the vote buying.
Now, even food now is being used to buy votes.
Yes.
Food stuff.
And vote buying does not begin on election day.
No, not even 1 month to the election. That started long ago.
They service these guys over a long period.
Yes.
I was talking about Osun election where even cows were given to some homesteads.
Live cows.
Yes, cows. It's still part of vote buying.
Yeah.
This one comes and gives people, gives women bales of cotton and not. It's still vote buying. They give women palm oil, jerry cans of palm oil. It's still vote buying.
It is.
You can dress it in any room. It is still vote buying, and it is not good for our democracy.
Yeah,
that is the point.
It couldn't.
It diminishes our democracy. We have to find a way to solve the problem.
It makes you think if we are dealing with the politics of cynicism or politics of hope. All right, we'll go on a break, I understand. We'll come back. Please stay with us.
Afraid of that man. Me too. What can you really do?
I hope you people are discussing about paying me my rent.
Oga landlord, calm down. We are discussing about the upcoming elections.
Nonsense. Don't tell me to calm down. Your mates are at the Akamata Community Square selling their votes for 5,000 naira. But you are here doing what I don't know.
Oga landlord, do you know that 5,000 naira spread over the next 4 years is just 4 naira per day? Is this what we should sell our votes for? God forbid.
Oga landlord, wise up. We must vote in the right people this time, instead of selling our votes to people who have nothing good to offer our community.
That one is your business. You ladies better go and collect yours, if that will help you gather my rent at the end of the month. Do not listen to people like this landlord. Election is not a business venture. It is your civic duty to your country to help elect the right leaders who will create a better life for you and a great future for your children. Do not sell your future. Do not sell your vote. This message is brought to you by the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the MacArthur Foundation.
When I was younger, I got asked a question by a friend. What is the ultimate dream in life? You see, in my several decades on Earth, I have seen trends come and go, hopes dashed and deserted. But the story of success has taught us that the ultimate dream should be one that inspires you to paddle through the odds to victory. Finally, I had the answer. The ultimate dream is not a destination. It is a journey of pushing through the odds. It is about challenging the norm, to strive for excellence, to always be in motion, to never give up.
What is really happening in Akamata market? It seems these people don't want the election to hold.
I hope you broadcast it. The world must hear.
No. Is that how you people share sensitive news like that without verifying it? If I may ask, which news platform published the news?
Jojo sent it.
Jojo? Is that not the same Jojo that posted a fake election result the last time that almost caused a riot?
You know they forget something.
No. In this election season and after, one must be very careful. Or do you want to set the country on fire?
Haba. Fake news is a threat to a free and fair election and to peace and security. So, before you share any news, check to be sure the source is credible. Check if there are supporting credible sources. Read beyond the headlines. Check the author. Check the date. Check your biases. Ask an expert or send to a fact-checking organization for confirmation. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government.
All right, folks, welcome back. You know, the cash crunch is also hitting the political class. You better believe it. Even politicians and political parties have admitted that much. You know, sourcing cash to pay off polling agents and so on. Inka, it's a tough time for the political class.
For everybody. And you know, what we have seen is like you want to cure an ailment. In the process of curing it, you inflict a greater ailment. That is what this policy has done. As I said earlier on, if in the past you give 5,000 and now people expect that things have changed since 2019 to now, you can't give 5,000 in 2019 and in 2023 you want to give the same 5,000. But with the situation that we are in now, even if you give 1,000 or 2,000,
you'll be happy.
They will be very happy. So that is why I concord with Father Kuka, who said vote buying has even been made cheaper.
Yes.
Because ordinary 1,000, I told you a while ago that in the last 1 month, I've not been able to undo 5,000 naira. But this morning, somebody in 100 and 200 naira notes that I transfer. And before you know it, the 5,000 is almost gone, but at least for the first time, I felt...
You felt like a rich man.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's just 5,000.
Yeah.
So talk less of other people who are... I mean, you want to... Okay, now, everybody's talking of, okay, transfer. You buy vegetable of 200 naira.
You transfer.
You transfer 200 naira. They will take 50 naira for electronic money transfer. The woman that you transfer that... In fact, most of them even tell you that when you want to transfer... Okay, sir, your bill is 200, but you have to put 15 naira extra because they are going to charge. So you find out that whatever way you are the loser.
Jide, wahala day.
Plenty.
Yes. I pity these parties because look, politics is not cheap. Party politics is a very expensive business. Where you are 179,000 agents. If you were to pay the agents, let's even say 10,000 each.
Multiply that.
You are talking of something in excess of 1.5 billion or so. You know? So how do you deal with that kind of situation? You don't have the cash. Politicians need money to pay, to handle logistics and to also pay those agents. Because you also need the agent to not be easy to buy.
Exactly.
By the enemy. So that is their concern. Now, if you can't pay your agent and the other people can pay, chances are that agent could compromise.
Exactly.
You know? So Keyamo was right when he said, look, what we do, we need money, we'll give them Coke and bread, just eat, wait for us, don't leave this place. When you leave this place,
all right,
anything funny can happen.
All right, okay, we must go. Let me thank you, BKO, and of course, Yinka Oyegbile. Many thanks.
Thank you.
So that's our show for today. But if you missed us by any chance, keep a date with us at 8 p.m. tonight when we open our studio for extensive coverage of the 2023 general election as Nigeria decides. Remember, we are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones. Bye-bye now.
Miss a moment. Instant breaking news from all over the globe. Live streaming of your favorite programs delivered directly to you. Watch anytime from anywhere on your mobile or smart devices. Download the TVC News app today. Available on Google Play and Apple Store.